Hello everyone and welcome to 12 by 12. This is Doug Barkey and I'm going to walk you through how to use intelligent agents to remind and monitor people about the content and the learning path, how to read it. As you know, one of the big challenges is getting students to actually read the material we prepared for them. They often skip right to the task and so on. So there's a couple ways to do that. Of course, you can monitor students' use of the content through their class progress window. You can see specifically which ones they viewed and did not view. But that takes some time, that's very tedious. So an automatic way to do it is use intelligent agents. So what we're going to do is go to our course admin and open that up. And then we'll locate intelligent agents, which is down under the communication heading. So we click on intelligent agents. And you'll see I have quite a few already set up for this class. We're going to focus on content today. And we'll go ahead and do it for milestone 1. But let's review one already set up just so we get a quick overview of what this will look like. So here's some of the criteria. We're going to use just the student role. We're going to address that role. We're going to set up our condition here about not visiting a content topic. We're going to set up how many times to do this, like whether you repeat it every day or just once. And then we'll use some replacement language to address the student. And then we'll have a note that we've written for the student. So all that will be wrapped up with a scheduling of when this agent should run. So let's cancel here and we'll do a new setup. So we go to new and we will choose, we'll give it a name, so we'll call this M1, we'll just redo milestone 1. And begin setting up the criteria. We'll leave it enabled for now. So for one, let's go with a user with just a specific role of the student. So that's what it's going to analyze, just the students. That's important because it won't analyze, if we include everyone, it'll analyze even your review of the content, and that's not necessary. We're going to take action every time a release condition happens. So now here's where we set up the release condition. We'll create and attach. We'll do create and attach. And go ahead and choose our condition. So we want to have the student visit a content topic. So we will use not visit content topic. We want to check what content topic they did not visit. When you open that or select that condition type, you then get another window opening down below. This then allows you to go through the whole content list. You can see that the entire course is here. So you have access to all the items in the learning path. We're going to choose the second to last one in the list. Now, one of the things about this is that if you wanted to check every single item in the content list, you would have to literally create a release condition for every single content item. And so to avoid that, I'm just going to choose the next to last one. That's going to save me time. If you go think about an entire class, there's maybe 60 items to read, so it'd be a lot of, create and attach that I have to do. So we'll just focus on one with the idea that assuming the student clicks through logically top to bottom in the learning path, that will have traveled by this design interpretation one. Another way to think about this is if there's a content item that you want to make sure that the student reviews, say some technical demonstration or something like that, or say it's your instructor notes or instructor tips, then choose that one. So you can choose an option that is good. I do want them to read this one. It's a very important lecture, so that's one reason why I've selected it. So once you have that condition type and your condition detail selected, then click create, and that's going to bring up the detail here in the window. Now, as far as when we want this to take place, if you just want this to run once, then you leave it on, take action only the first time the criteria is satisfied. If you want to run every 24 hours, so basically send an email every 24 hours, then you can choose this one. Now, keep in mind that this actually will run automatically. Now we're going to schedule this. We're going to control it a bit. But if I want the student to get an email every single day until they don't read that item, then I would choose this one. If I only want them to get one email reminder, then I would choose our top one. So next thing is what's going to happen. We want to send an email, so we click that. And then we need to use some special email addresses here so it'll actually go to the individual students. It'll look like it's an email from you, the instructor, to them personally. That's how we want it to look. So by clicking on that, on the link here, what special email address can I use, you come up with the window. It's a help window. But I find it useful just to copy this. So we'll just copy that statement. And we know we want it to go to the initiating user. That's the student. Now I would like to copy too, so I'm going to put in my address here. When you do this, now you're actually monitoring the student's behavior, and you can do this with any intelligent agent. You could just use intelligent agent to only be sent to you, so that you get a reminder about students doing or not doing something in the classroom. So I will now get an email until the student, I'll get a whole bunch of emails basically on students who have not read their content. So if I want to follow up or say I'm doing my grades, I can look at my email quickly and see that they didn't do a content item, and I can note that in my grading, for example. Now my subject matter here, this will be the top of their email. So we need to put something pertinent. So please take a moment to read learning activities, and now I'll do my message. So here I've typed in the message, and I want to point out one of the first things here, which I've used the replacement text, initiating user first name. Now that's available right here. You just click on what replace strings can I use. You'll get a pop-up window, and it'll list them all. And so the one we've chosen is initial user first name. You can also address them by last name and so on. So these are all here. You just copy and paste them if you like. There's also some things you can use here in your letter, like last course access date, last login date, and so on. So you can use those in the body of your letter, of your email. In this case, we have not. But for example, let's say you do an email about when they log in, or when they've last done something in the class. You can actually use those replacement text to remind the student that they haven't logged in for so many weeks. All right, so we've got our letter done. We've got our trigger. We've got it set to ourselves. Now we need to go down and do our schedule for this. So we're going to use a schedule, and you click Update Schedule, and then that'll give you the opportunity to set up the dates. Now, since this is on a time period, I know that milestone 1 runs between several dates. I'm going to set that up here. So I'm going to leave it on daily, and I'm going to choose has start dates. So I'm going to start it with this milestone begins on a Thursday and ends on a Wednesday. So I'm going to give them a couple days to read the content before I remind them. So let's say we'll start it on Sunday, and we'll start it, then we'll end it, and just click on it, then we'll go. So we'll end it on the 21st. So that's the last day that they could read the content. So now I could have it repeat, every day. So just put every day if I want. If you go to weekly, it gives you a chance to click on just the days that you want it to run. So rather than every day. So I know, for example, I'm giving them Thursday, Friday, Saturday to read it. So then I know I want to run on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Right? So I know I want to run it on those days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday doesn't make much sense because that's the last day of the session. So we'll click those days. Now we update it. Oh, and I forgot to put repeats every week, so I'll just put that in every week. Now, when it says repeat every week, it's gonna the schedule down here is gonna override everything. So it's only gonna run between November 18th and November 21st. It will not run every week throughout the course. So you control really when it runs specifically with this range of dates, and then within that range of dates, you can choose certain days if you'd like. All right, so I click Update, and now I'm all set. So I've got my schedule. I've got my note, and I've got my role set up. So we'll save and close it. And it is enabled, so we're all set to run. And now let's test it out. So this class is not active, so we're not likely to get anybody, but here's the one we just set up. And so to test it, you would click on the pull-down menu and go to Practice Run. And what that will do, it'll run the agent, and then we can go back and look at the history of it and see exactly, did it work? And it's a good idea to do this always when you set up Intelligent Agent, because if you don't, what can happen is that you might have not set it up correctly. Say I clicked visit all content topics instead of not visited. That might then send off an email to everybody in the class to do their content review because they may have all read it. And so the important thing is to run the test. Once you run the test, it'll take a few seconds, and then you can go and look at and you get a little notification that agent's completed. It'll be in your email also. But you can view history, and that's going to tell me then how many people were identified. So now it's interesting, this class is done, but there's one user, probably someone who dropped out earlier than milestone 1. So I identified that one user. You click on the link, and then that will open up and tell you who it is that has not actually read that particular content. So I know this student who's gone through the class already has not read the content. So when you're done looking at that, you can go back to Reminder Demo, and then I'm sorry. So we'll save it. Go back to our list. And now if you want to run it manually, like start today, then you would simply choose run now, and so it'll run it immediately. If in this case I'm setting this up beforehand, and so I don't want to run yet, I want to run on Sunday, so I won't actually run it now. And that's the advantage of doing the practice run. You can test the practice run, make sure it functions, but then just let it run by itself. It will run basically it'll run every day that I selected. It'll run Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday between those dates. Now, now that I've set this up, it'd be great to actually, if I didn't have to redo this for every single milestone. So all I need to do is to choose copy. It'll create a copy of this particular one, so it puts it right on top. And now I can go in and edit that. Now what I can do is edit that for milestone 2. So you can do your whole class really in just a few minutes. So what I do goes down to my release conditions, and let me change the title. So let's call it milestone 2, and take off the copy. We'll enable the agent, and I'm going to delete this one because I don't want that one anymore. I'm going to create a new one. So create and attach. We go with our not visit content topic. We then select the topic. So we're going to scroll all the way down to milestone 2. And the last item is book covers and design. So I choose that one and create. So now I've set up everything for that milestone 2. I don't need to set anything up. I can go down to my letter. And if you're smart, you write in a way that doesn't actually mention the milestone. So you can see I've written it more generically here, and I haven't mentioned specifically that this is for milestone 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that way it's the same letter. Now if you don't want to do that, you can customize the letter. I could tweak it a bit and add that, and I could even discuss that title or something, but that would be up to you. I do a generic one. It's a reminder only. And now the last thing I need to do is to check the scheduling, because I know I want this one actually to run on different dates. So I do update schedule. And I'm going to keep, I know this stuff I want the same. I just want to switch my schedule dates. So I click on the first start date. I know now I want this one to start on the 21st or 22nd with the start of the new week, or new milestone. And I want to end on the 28th, which is the last day of the milestone. So now I know it's going to run those dates. I click update, and now I'm ready for milestone 2. I save and close it, and now that's ready to go. So again, you can try the run the practice run, see what comes up. Let's see here. Where's that? Here it is. So we'll do a practice run. And while it's in the practice run, you'll get that little icon right there. And notifications come in. Let's go take a look. So let's view the history. No user identified. So I know first of all that everyone's read it, and that I don't have to worry about it. But of course, this actually how it would show up if you were doing this beforehand. So that'd be expected. The problem would be if it showed up that everyone was identified or something you did not expect here. So you're all set. You're ready to go. You've got your intelligent agent set up to remind people to do the content. Since you've set up an email for yourself, you'll also know. Now, of course, if you don't want to get all those emails, then don't put your email in. But otherwise, it'll help you monitor who are the people in your class that are not reading the material. Thanks, everyone.